School of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 008 Information Systems for Managers for MBA program. Block 2 Information Systems Unit 5 MIS and Control Systems Part 1.
Management Information System, an Introduction. The subject of Management Information System, MIS, has different meaning for different people. MIS initially were built to process transactional data of an organization and to produce regular reports. With little more advancement, the system generated a report in a suitable format that created an impact on its user and provoked an action, a decision, or an investigation. Today, an information system has evolved to the stage where they handle databases and secondary data available on the web to facilitate decision making. Accordingly, definition of MIS has also evolved. There are many closely related definitions in use. The terms MIS is synonymously used with terms the information system, IS, the information and decision system, and the computer-based information system. The MIS is defined as an integrated system of man and machine for providing the information to support the operations, the management, and the decision-making function in the organization. The above definition emphasizes an association between MIS and decision-making. An application software that processes data which is not used for decision-making cannot be called an MIS. For instance, a computer-aided design system is not an MIS. An MIS deals with information that is systematically and routinely collected in accordance with a well-defined set of rules. In other words, data collection is a planned activity for which resources are allocated and rules are defined. The information provided by an MIS assists managers in planning, organizing, staffing, coordinating, directing, and controlling the operations of an organization. The management experts have viewed these steps as management information system. In any organization that has planned activities leading to the achievement of the stated goals, there is always a control process in place that measures progress towards these goals and enables the manager to deduct the deviations from the original plan in time. It is the responsibility of the management to take corrective actions before it is too late. The deviations may be due to environmental changes or due to the mistakes made by people. An MIS is concerned with planning and control. An MIS has large amount of data as its integral part that is stored and managed by a database management system. The exponential growth of information all around makes it necessary that information is probably collected, stored, and retrieved in various fields so that it could be usefully exploited whether and when needed. The concern is, what information does the manager need to manage effectively? We are interested in a system for providing the necessary management information. MIS is a system that aids management in making and implementing decision. An MIS must have the following features. 1. It must be capable of handling voluminous data. The data as well as transactions must be validated. 2. It must be able to perform operations on the data irrespective of the complexity of the operations. Often, time multi-dimensional analysis is required. 3. An MIS should facilitate quick search and retrieval of information. An MIS must support mass storage of data and information. 4. The information must be communicated to the recipient in time. Moreover, the communicated information must be relevant. 5. The information system must always have internet link to dig out related information and data from the web for better analysis, helping the management in taking decision. Objectives. After reading this unit, you should be able to Identify the main features of a Management Information System, MIS. Explain the Anthony and Simon framework for understanding the MIS and decision-making process. Explain the basic overview of the system's concept. Describe the management functions at various levels in the context of relationships between management and informational needs. Use MIS as a technique for making program decision. Explain the vulnerability of an information system and discuss the control and audit structure required for an information system. System view and status of MIS in organizations. Today, besides professional managers, all administrators, politicians, academicians have become aware of the need for adopting an integrated, holistic perspective by using the system's approach to problem conceptualization and decision implementation. Today, we find everyone talking of systems: the transport system, educational system, healthcare delivery system, defense system, economic system, communication system, management information system, transaction processing system, decision support system, computer systems, etc. But what exactly do we mean by a system? Let us elaborate to know about. What is a system? It is an entity, conceptual or physical, which consists of interdependent parts or components. It is this interdependency which is characteristic of the parts of the system. A system is a complex of elements or components directly or indirectly related in a causal network. This brings in the notion of some type of feedback and control to see whether or not the system is a position to achieve the goals, purpose, objectives of the system. Any system must have an objective or a set of objectives or a hierarchical set of objectives. In a large context, a system is an assembly of procedures, processes, methods, routines, techniques, etc., united by some form of regulated interaction to form an organized whole. In fact, no system, unless it be a totally closed system, can exist in isolation. A system is made up of subsystems, which may be composed of further subsystems. We could carry on this refinement till we arrive at the so-called black box level, which is some perceptible manageable level. Just as system is made up of sub or subsystem, it itself is a part of super or suprasystem. This could be termed as the environment in which the system operates. One could think of an industrial system or a factory system. A factory system has various subsystems like the production subsystem, the shipping subsystem, the financial subsystem, the marketing subsystem, and the personnel subsystem. Now, a production subsystem could consist of sub-subsystems of production control, materials control, quality control, etc. The material sub-subsystem can be further broken down into black boxes, say purchasing, stores, transportation, etc. In turn, the factory system is part of the larger economic system of the country, which would be the so-called superior or suprasystem. Data could be a set of input into a data processing, which would process or transform or convert the data into output or information. One could think of raw material entering as input into production system, which is converted or transformed or processed into an output, that is, some final product. Continuing the example further in the context, this time the quality of the finished product could be measured by comparing it with the standard specifications of the finished product. Depending on the deviations or variances, the manager can then adjust the quality and quantity of the raw materials. The environment of the factory system under consideration could be other factories, competitors, customers, markets, socio-political and cultural factors, government, etc. Information systems are used in all functional areas and operating divisions of business. In finance and accounting, information systems are used to forecast revenue and business activity, determine the best sources and uses of funds. Information systems have been used for managing cash and other financial resources and analyzing investment. Financial health of an organization is also checked using IS. In sales and marketing, information systems are used to develop new goods and services, product analysis, determining the best location for production and distribution facilities, site analysis, determine the best advertising and sales approaches, promotion analysis, and set product prices to get the highest total revenues, price analysis. In manufacturing, information systems are used to process customer orders, develop production schedules, control inventory lengths, and monitor product quality. Service industries such as airline industry and railways use information systems to serve their customer better. Banks and other investment firms use IS to make good investments and sanction sound loans. Publishing houses, healthcare organizations, and retail companies all make use of information systems to serve their customers better and maximize their profit. Framework for understanding MIS and its role at various management levels. There is too much data and information in an organization. In order to design a MIS successfully, we need a framework to structure the information so that the data and information relevant for decision making can be separated from the rest of the data. Before we talk about the design of MIS, let us understand the strategic management of a business. An organization must respond to market forces, competition, to environment, and to technological changes. The scope of business is wide, touching many fronts. A business, among other activities, must do a long-term strategic planning. There are many methodologies for strategic planning. According to model presented by Robert Anthony, the strategic planning is one of the major activities in business planning and control. The other two are the management control and operational control. 1. Strategic planning is the process of deciding objectives of the organization, determining the possible shift in objectives, deciding on the resources used to attain their objectives, and the policies that govern the acquisition, use, and disposition of their resources. 2. Management control is the process by which managers assure that the resources are obtained and used effectively and efficiently to attain the objectives of the organization. 3. Operational control is the process of assuming that specific tasks are carried out effectively and efficiently. It is useful to classify the above definitions with some examples. Anthony's framework enables us to understand the characteristics of information needed to support the three types of planning and control process. Let us now look at Simon's framework that has broken down the process of decision making into three stages. 1. Intelligence. This is the stage in which the decision maker recognizes that there is a problem or opportunity that requires him to make a decision. 2. Design. The decision maker determines the alternatives that are available to him to resolve the problem or exploit the opportunity. 3. Choice. In this stage, an alternative generated in stage 2 is singled out to be pursued. The selection process may involve feasibility analysis or cost-benefit analysis. With this framework, we can distinguish between three major classes of decisions. A. Program decisions are there in which all stages are handled by following a preset well-defined procedure. The decisions are repetitive and routine, which arise often and are capable of being modeled mathematically in their entirety. The classic example would be inventory ordering decisions. B. Non-programmed decisions are difficult to structure in logical mathematical terms. These decisions cannot be handled in well-defined and pre-specified procedures. Their opportunities are not repetitive in nature and they require fresh intelligence, design, and choice phases to be executed. An example would be the decision to set up a new factory or launch a new line of product. C. Semi-programmed decisions are those in which at least one and no more than two of the above stages can be handled by well-defined preset procedures. An example where the intelligence phase is well structured would be the diverse kinds of variance analysis. A comparison with a budget or standard is undertaken in a well-defined way to signal the need for a decision. Subsequent stages of design and choice, however, are not handled by a set procedure. Recall that an MIS supports problem-specific decision-making. Depending on the framework used by the organization for decision-making and goals set for MIS, the designer should determine the information needs. An MIS should not automate the existing procedures. MIS should act as a catalyst of change in the process of an organization. For instance, a private bank sanctions loans by using a sequential process. An applicant applies for a loan. The details provided by him are verified and his application details are entered into the bank application format along with his credit limit. The computer application is then passed on to the loan sanctioning authority. The process takes 2 weeks' time even though the staff spends about 30 minutes on the application. A workflow system should not automate the existing process. It should aim to reduce the application processing time to less than a week. The present workflow systems let everyone look at the application simultaneously and each concerned person adds his feedback. The sequential process has been changed to a parallel process. The total time has come down to less than a week. According to Zani, the important determinants of MIS design are 1. Opportunities and risks. 2. Company strategy. 3. Company structure. 4. Management and decision-making process. 5. Available technology. 6. Available information sources. An MIS should be designed viewing the organization. A company structure subdivides essential tasks to be performed, assigns them to individuals, and spells out the interrelationships for their tasks. The organizational structure and the tasks determine the information needs of the company. The MIS designer must plan to deliver reports in line with the organization structure. This means that the main decision makers and the power centers must be recognized in the MIS. If the decision-making responsibilities are clearly defined and allocated in the organization, MIS must capture them. If the organization culture provides sufficient incentives for efficiency and results, the MIS support this culture by providing such information which will aid the promotion of efficiency. The organization system is an open system and MIS should be so designed that it highlights the changes to the concerned level in the organization so that the action can be taken to correct the situation. The designer of the MIS should take care of the data problems. The input data to the MIS may contain bias and error. The inputs to the MIS must be controlled to ensure impartiality, reliability, and consistency. If the organization culture provides sufficient incentives for efficiency and results, the MIS should provide information that will aid the promotion of efficiency. If the organization is an open system, then MIS should be designed to highlight critical changes in the system or in its environment. In designing an MIS, there are 2 types of situations one may come across. If the organization has no experience of computing applications, which will create the maximum impact on the organization, it can be identified by using Zani's framework. Key success variables are, however, seldom obtained through a questionnaire survey of managers. Data on environment, past company performance must be analyzed and discussed to identify key success variable. It is sometimes useful to pen down a quantitative measure of such variable. For example, the performance of a textile unit can be summed up through 2 indicators: contribution per loom shift and fixed cost per loom shift. Similarly, the performance of a shipping company may be measured as gross operating profit per day per voyage. Precise definitions of performance indicators enable the analyst to understand and quantify the likely impact of improvement in different tasks of planning and monitoring. An analysis of the company's key success variables can be done only after a thorough understanding of the company's operations. Consultants and vendors who do not spend adequate time in understanding the operations are unlikely to throw up application areas which will create the maximum impact. They are likely to suggest off-the-shelf applications. One should use standard software which is available for such applications. For a company getting into automation using information system, a list of applications would have to be generated, keeping in view the future perspective, at least for 5 years, on the basis of which a suitable configuration would be decided. However, the development and implementation of the applications would have to be done in a phased manner. The first few applications must be those which can create an impact on the performance of the organization, are quick to implement with the least amount of changes in the existing procedures and systems. By and large, an effort is made to create useful databases which capture data during the execution of routine data processing systems. Such data are then analyzed to produce periodic planning report for monitoring. Examples of such systems are the sales analysis based on invoice processing, inventory control based on stock accounting, costing and profitability analysis on the basis of financial accounting system. Marginal additions to data fields, new coding structure, and revised procedures are introduced to make the database and reporting more useful. Factors facilitating implementation of MIS. A few factors which will increase the chances of a successful implementation of MIS are: 1. Involvement of top management in the computerization effort in defining the purpose and goals of computers within the organization. 2. Selection of an IT manager who is well versed with IT tools and also has the skills to involve managers in choosing application areas, identifying information needs, and designing reports. 3. A computer staff which has interdisciplinary skills in computers, management, and operations research. 4. A balanced expenditure on hardware and software. Now let us look into the role of MIS at various management levels. We come across saying that management can be understood by observing what managers do. Management can also be understood by the type of functions a manager performs. A manager usually performs the following functions: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordination, feedback, reporting, and budgeting. In fact, management is a process of achieving an organization's goal and objectives by judiciously making use of resources of men, material, machines, money, methods, messages, and moments. The last two in the context of information being vital resources to the manager or decision maker. Management can also be seen as structured into 3 hierarchical levels, namely top level, middle level, and bottom level, or strategic, tactical, and operational levels respectively. Although lines of demarcation are not absolute and clear-cut, one can usually distinguish certain layers within the organization which are characterized by the classical pyramidal type of structures. Top management establishes the policies, plans, and objectives of the company as well as a budget framework under which the various departments will operate. These factors are promulgated and passed down to middle management. They are translated into cost or profit center concept. These are reviewed, analyzed, and modified in accordance with the overall plans and policies until agreement is reached. Middle management then issues the specific schedules and measurement yardsticks to the operational management. The operational levels has the responsibility of producing goods and services to meet the revenue, profit, and other goals, which in turn will enable the organization achieves its overall and objectives. The hierarchical view of management is important for 2 reasons. Information needs tend to be different at different levels of management, and the amount of time devoted to any given function varies considerably with the level. In the context of MIS, management can perhaps be best defined as a process of 1. Selection of objectives, 2. Judicious allocation of resources, 3. Determining operational plans and schedules, 4. Keeping control of progress, and 5. Evaluation through feedback. Each of these areas require certain decisions to be made. Thus, we take strategic decisions at the top level, tactical decisions at the middle, and operational decisions at the junior level. The type of problems and decisions at the junior level are quite deterministic and structured. So, we can have programmed decisions. Though, the classic pyramidal structure is generally acceptable. Unfortunately, in the modern complex organization, this neat, militaristic configuration seldom fits the reality. The modern manager must be capable of managing his or her information systems for strategic planning, management control, and operational control.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program, course code Mmpc 008, Information Systems for Managers. Course Coordinator, Professor Anurag Saxena, School of Management Studies, IGNOU. Voiceover by Renuka. Edited by Ruchi Sharma. Program assisted by Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.